Welcome back to another reaction to Lord of Mysteries, episode 12. Last episode, we found out a couple little parts. Now, we were investigating the more potential murder of this one political person. I already forgot his name. Because he had a connection to Lavinus, which we are trying to find, because he seems to be very important. He seems to be in the middle of like some big ritual. Now, we were able, or Klein was able to summon his familiar that has like part of the gray mist, the gray fog as his ability, and the blazing sun, or some of the powers flowing through his familiar. We had to answer our own prayer, which was very strange, but understandable. We then investigated the head of the new party, which was a woman, and she seems to have everyone under her control, wanted to merge her new party with the established party that is ruling, and everyone that was against this was more or less incarcerated and potentially killed. Then we, did some more investigating. Later on, we fought her. She was part of the demoness cult, understandable. She was rank 6 assassin, and we defeated her. However, Dunst was affected in some way and started cannibalizing. He ate something, and it was red. So assumption is blood. I heard like ideas for maybe he ate the heart of the guy that died. We also used an artifact against the cult of demoness. It seemed very effective against other people as well, because it killed one of our guys, which was very brutal because he coughed up his own heart, which is metal as fuck. However, we fought, we won. Dunst is strange. We don't know if we have to fight him, find a new captain, or if Klein is able to pull him back. Maybe with the power of the Grey Fog. Because Dunst seems very good at fighting. So in a one-on-one, Klein is not going to be able to fight him, I assume. Or if that cannibalizing is just a normal part, maybe he's eating, her and gets stronger this way. I don't know. We will see. Now I did go back. First, I misremembered. We got the information of the Unshadowed, which is I don't know which pathway, but connected to the sun we saw, and that was rank 4, not rank 3 as I remembered. It was rank 4 and Unshadowed. My alphabet, no changes. Didn't get much. The runic symbols, no clue. Still keeping that on the side. Now, I also went back to Trist because he had like a conversation with someone. I don't know if that was the Saintess in White we saw last episode or not. Someone else. However, I wanted to see what his pathway was, and he was assassin. He then transformed into woman for rank 7, I believe, assassin. And we also got the information that the demoness cult especially only has high-ranking female characters. Now, the question is, or my assumption then is, that the assassin pathway is the higher ranks are only female. Meaning we will only see female higher ranking assassins. Which is interesting. I do wonder if we have like an equivalent for male. Potentially, maybe. And I mean, it makes sense. Female, also women are seen as weaker or less dangerous, so it is easier to assassinate someone. Also, it is easier to get into relationships with men and women as female, in contrast to a man. So, understandable that, assassin pathway, go female, understandable. Now, I also went, looked at the last episode a little bit, something that I missed was the Saintess in White. Before we had like this whole interaction, she was like lamenting or acknowledging that the city had like these dark feelings, more or less surging, and she said these are the prime ingredients for the witch potion or recipe. She said recipe, meaning she may want to advance to witch, and seemingly you need all these dark emotions to advance to that, or make the potion to then advance to that, which would mean this is a lot higher rank, or it was not rank, sequence, a lot higher sequence potion as I assumed, because it seemed like you need a lot. Additionally, we still have the whole ritual of Lavinus, who seemingly banished or put some part of a god of the true creator, as far as I remember, inside the baby. And we also saw the guy in the library. He was murmuring about sacrificing the whole city for some big ritual. And I'm assuming this is where we are going to go for this season. A little bit sad we did not get any information about our son boy, but I heard we get like a special in a year or two for him. A little bit sad about that. I just like more information about the round table, the Sun Boy, because he's a new one, Miss Justice, and Mr. Hangman. I would like to see more about them, but I guess we don't have time. So let's see. Seemingly a little bit shorter than other episodes. Still more than long enough. So let's see. Are we going to have a fight? I mean, we could skip this.
掌握不同的非凡能力，完成生命层次的晋升。这22条进阶之路，从序列9开始。序列数字。
I still have to go back and look at all these symbols. Compare them to the ones, because we did get to see 3 symbols. We got to see the sun. We got to see Hangman, and we got to see Justice. And all of them had like a symbol. The one was Miss Justice had like a dragon symbol. So. Okay, it's the pathway. These are 22 symbols, right? I mean, I just assumed it would be 22. Yep, 22. Meaning the Cloud Joker. Cloud Joker? The Fool should be there too. Okay. Interesting. We already start with the quill. We have found out 2 or 3 episodes ago it's an artifact. It has some insane power. We don't really know what. But my assumption would be whoever has the quill can rewrite story. And we don't know if he's against Klein, for Klein, or maybe something else. Maybe he's writing for some other purpose, changing the story for his purpose, which somehow helps Klein. This is the part. He's writing the story changing the story. He is controlling part. Why? This is a part because we know he's wanted, he's quote unquote fallen, but not turning into a monster. Using this artifact to change the story for what reason? He's not going to just write a story. It could be that maybe his what he's writing is he's getting led by his god or whoever deity of his pathway who's telling him what to write. But I would like to know what exactly the idea is behind him writing, changing the story. Because we did see it like 4 or 5 times it interfered with Klein. In this case as well. Which is, by the way, a very interesting, intriguing power for an artifact. Because you can have someone who's like an author in the story, changing the story without being part of the story necessarily, at least for some time. So let's see what is going on here. So seemingly this artifact made him do it, but why? Is it positive? Is it negative? It feels negative. He's drinking his blood. Vampires. I did not forget. Vampires. My assumption, this is not part of the sleepless pathway.
怎么回事？他出现失控的前期征兆了，不应该的。队长一直在扮演梦魇。克莱恩，队长一直在扮演梦魇。
He removed the blood? Was it maybe just... Maybe we saw something? Maybe someone changed our, vision, what we perceive? Maybe. Now, what I did not consider is that we're just going to brush past this. Nothing happened. Which, if we do that, we have to do it pretty well to make it acceptable. By the way, why does the moon have a butthole? He's probably going to be normal. He's just going to talk to him. Klein is going to be shaken up. We will see if we get some information about him drinking the blood. We also don't know if he drank the blood from the ground.
怎么了？不，没什么。
By the way, I want to go back for a second.
队长。
Damn it. There, Dunsmith. Okay, done. Dunsmith is a pretty normal fantasy name, I believe. Smith is like this universal name.
怎么了？不，没什么。我有点累了。
If you want to be incognito, you
悲伤
ask
过度
Smith.
消耗心神，你要尽早习惯这些事。趁着血轮会议灵体还未消散。
Commune with her spirit body. First off, it feels very dangerous. Second, would this not be something that Charlie would do? The spirit guide?
通灵调查下吧。
Normally? We probably are pressed for time.
我知道了，队长。
I'm assuming.
队长看起来没什么异常，刚才
That
是
is the
幻觉。
question.
不对，不是幻觉，科恩利的尸体。
So it is the heart. So I don't know if people already knew that and they were saying he ate the heart, but the heart is missing. Question is why? It seems like the storyteller is making him do it. By that I mean the one that is holding the quill. The big question is why? Why eat the heart? Is there something important? Can you maybe take part of the power? I don't know.
真的少了些什么？
Ah, bomb. Ah. 12, 12, 12, 12. Let me check. Let me do a quick cheeky check. 12. Nope. B.I. have all these letters. I need Q, X, Z, and smaller I need M and S, which most likely are just the same as the uppercase letters. I mean, we do have episode here. So it's just the uppercase letters in lowercase. Most likely. But I do not want to be too sure because I don't know if this is all uppercase. I mean, I can wait. I can check. A second. Oh, yep. Yo-yos, these are lowercase. So, I'm gonna do that later. So I have all the lowercase letters. I'm missing the uppercase letters, which could also be the lowercase letters just in uppercase. Just want to make sure 100% the say is the real letters now. The mansion was red. Had a lot of red tones. Is this a different mansion? No, it's the same. It looks a little bit different colored wise. Oh, it is a okay.
为什么又是这样？可里，他上个月才订婚，
I
为什
mean,
么要成为非凡者？为什么总是有危险？
you do get paid a lot. Just as comparison. Additionally, this one is not that hard hitting because we never really got much for Canley. With Neil, we had like a whole backstory with his friend, and we saw him fight his friend. We saw him, getting coaxed into his fallen form to maybe revive his wife. A lot more impactful.
愿女神庇护你，
At least the anime version.
让你得到真正的安眠。
Right, we also found, or I'm assuming that every different pathway or like cult or church has a different way to, a different saying for their dead.
队长究竟做了什么？
Now this is also something because I have a friend who watches the show as well. Now this coughing in the episode with the clown where we fought him before, where we fought the big blob creature that fused with the guy that fused with the diary, turned into the blob creature. He attacked Dunn and pierced his right shoulder, and something got inside of him. We saw his veins pulsing in his face, really protruding. And after that, he was like, "Oh, I'm fine." And he had this cough since then. And this was like an after effect. Maybe this is also related. First off, the diary is in our possession. I mean the cult, the Church of Evernight Goddess. However, someone had to write the diary, the book, antagonist notebook. Maybe that book was written by that quill that the other guy has. Maybe that is why, because Dunn got attacked by the creature that fused with the book. Maybe that is why he is more susceptible to the quill. Maybe. Because his cuffing was the same he had at the time.
队长究竟做了什么？之前命令我下楼上后，难道是想支开我？克恩利被30217反噬牺牲，30217是队长交给克恩利的。我在想什么？
That is a very dangerous way to think. So he is insinuating that potentially the captain planned all of this. Now the question is why? Again, that is a big question. Why? What is the potential? Because there's a lot of danger involved with that. It can blow up, people can find out, yada yada yada. You lose your access to all the artifacts, you are not in a higher position anymore. A lot of negatives. What are the positives? Killing Canley, whatever. Or maybe killing Klein. Eating their heart. Why? What is the positive? Now, we have Mr. Beautiful Boy. I do not remember his name. However, the guy that is seemingly knows a lot of the stuff. He knew about the digestion of potion. He knew about acting. He knew a lot of stuff that, is very strange. He was also able to move or act whenever we got attacked by the marionette. Now, he has someone in his shadow. My assumption still is that his shadow or he himself are stronger than we know. And the other party is more or less the shield that is then showing like the lower rank or weaker sequence pathway. That is my assumption. I lost my train of thought. What did I want to go? Right. I got it again. Now, because it seems like you cannot really, you don't know the rank and sequence, or the sequence and pathway. The question is, can you fake it? Is he maybe not a rank 7, I believe it was rank 7 or sequence 7, Sleepless Nightmare? Is he maybe something else, another pathway altogether, that potentially need to eat hearts to be stronger? Maybe. Because I don't trust Mr. Beautiful, Bishonen guy. I feel like he's a lot stronger than he makes it out to be.
当时这是必然的选择，可是30217也是队长提议使用的。
据克莱恩对雪伦会议的统领显示，魔女教派疑似与极光会有合作关系，与兰尔沃斯案停更毁灭日有关。顺着这条线再去仔细核查。
明白，队长。现在雪伦会议已死。 停更危机是否可以暂时解除？
雪伦会议或许是毁灭日的关键一环。
He's also sleepless, I believe. She was, whenever we got introduced, she was said to be beautiful.
但邪恶组织亦或许是毁灭日的关键一环。但邪恶组织永远不会只下一步棋。
Beautiful looking. I don't know what these sailboats are doing, because they seemingly do not fit under the bridge. Now you could argue, hey, they have like, they can move up the bridge, which seems possible. Again, Klein seems to believe that Dunn had, he had planned for this to happen. Question is really why? Why kill your own dudes? I mean, it's like the alternative is, okay, you don't use the mirror, but then you don't defeat Sharon. She's going to win, because Dunn was on, Dunn was able to more or less hold his own against her. Klein was losing. He did have the sun charm he was about to use, and Kenneth was definitely not winning. So if you don't use the mirror, you would have lost. So it was the right call. I do not believe it was planned from Dunn. It could be that maybe the one that is writing the story with the quill, again, I don't mean the author himself, I mean the quill holder. It may be that he is trying to do this and shape the story. Earlier. Oh, Lenovis. I want to call her Lavinus. I don't know why. How is it? I just need to bish bash bosh. Because this is a very good name, because my assumption is it's similar to Tunic, where every symbol has like multiple letters in them, maybe even like not vowels, but whatever you call it, like HO together, maybe ho is maybe one of them instead of only H. Huh? Oh, it's our boy. I did not even consider this. How he disappears, he was standing there for a long time. And this is the guy I meant. I feel like he's a higher rank sequence than we are led to believe. Because at this point, I do not know if people can even really check unless they have contact. We know Sharon was able to check his client's rank because she contacted, he had like a connection with him whenever she used her silk or whatever on him and connected to him. And I'm assuming it's like the amount of spiritual power you have is what your rank is. So I am interested. So he seems to follow his footsteps, but not at the same time. So we know he was rank 7, sequence 7, I believe, maybe 8, Swindler. Which also, he seems a lot more powerful. And I do not know what this really means. So we see him walking. We have like... Here we see him walking. We have this fast forward effect. It seems like that our guy is following his footsteps, but not instantly. However, here it seems like he is. This is very peculiar. This seems to be his ability. But we know our boy is following him. And he seems to know about it. 62 Howell Street. Okay, Howell Street, 62. This. Okay. What? Huh? So this is the same we got, Howell Street. What is this? Can you even see my cursor? No. What is this? This is Howell Street. It's the same as we got before. This is something different. This can't be the whole number. Now here's the problem with this translation. So they could just not translate it well. Ooh. Normally, the show was pretty good at just telling us what is written here. This is probably Z. Don't need to check that too much. Is this not a B? I have always a problem with this symbol and R. Okay. This not a T? Yes. The return of the return of the return of the count. Ah, return of the count. And then we have more stuff down here. This is a W. I mean, sure. What? The symbol is still a little bit. What do we have here? This is an LOO. Look. Man, my colors so bad. Hmm. Look forward. I assume forward to something. It's a flyer for like something. Again, the return of the count. Interesting. I do like this. You know, able to identify this. We also have some money here, which we should be able to identify somewhat. This is not one. Is it one? It is one. 1,1,5,7 £7. Oh. Return of the Earl. Return of the... What the... Okay. We did get a translation. However, I'm very happy that I have, you know, it on the side. The return of the Earl instead of Count. It does not even line up with the amount of... We await your visit. Okay. Don't miss the spectacular stories. We await your visit. Return of the Earl. First day of ticket sales. Fuck you, game. Why am I calling it game? She's putting money in her little pouch? And she's hiding stuff?
回来啦，克莱恩。
I do not know how... And hide this one again. I do not know how involved the siblings are going to be. We know she is in engineering. It would be interesting to see if she's going to be important.
你最近是不是很忙？厨房里有早餐，你要不要吃点？
好，等我工作结束。
It seems like she's planning to take out her brother, potentially both of them, to this little, whatever this is, circus, theater, Return of the Count, do a little bit family meeting. A little bit family
信已经
bonding.
寄出了，希望阿兹克先生和
You sent a letter. What letter? What did you write? Did you write about
戴
Dunn?
丽女士能尽快回信。我不清楚。
I do like Dali. Let's hope she's going to be there forever. Dali was... Damn. Is she corpse collector? She's not sleepless. What? What? He's like spirit guide now. Now, by the way, if you want to ever look up stuff in for a lot of mysteries, do not. Spoilers everywhere. Everywhere. Pathway of Corpse Collector. Yep. So she's not going to join because we have Azik. We don't need her. I would love her to join though. I would love her, period, but...
发生了什么事情，也不知道队长处于什么状态，只有你们能给我答案了。
Now, Azik makes sense. He's outside. Dali is a little bit more strange because she is involved with the church. She could relay that information. Okay, we are inside the fog. Now this is also interesting. It felt like at the beginning we needed to recite the luck ritual to get here. But now it seems like you can just transfer here. The reason for Dunsmith's erratic behavior. Sure. Whatever you say.
神秘司异常的原
So
因，
we are trying to divine again. Use our pendulum, right?
没反应，
No reaction.
这说明信息不足，占卜失败。
No reaction means failure. Good. Okay. Not enough information. Or someone is interfering?
通常来讲，涉及自身安危的占卜需要的信息最少。
Oh. So he is going to assume that it is not dangerous to him at the time.
如果我从占卜自己的安危这方面入手，
Oh no, okay, never mind. He didn't do it for his own safety at the moment. Now he's doing it. Again, we found out about like the spirit world. Someone is answering these divinations. Someone is giving him the answers. So the question is who? Is it the higher deity, whoever is, the deity of his pathway, or is it maybe like the normal spirit?
邓恩史密斯的异常会让我陷入危险之中。
Now he's going to get an answer. Okay, he got an answer.
肯定。
Is it? Okay. Because this is only what I found out from comments of someone of some of the episodes, that pendulum moving is the answer, and clockwise seems yes, counterclockwise seems no. The problem is sometimes we don't get the real question, so we can't really interpret what the answer is really saying. Here we know the answer is yes, and he somehow is able to divine that it is very dangerous. Another part I did not really take, see or acknowledge is that he's able to activate and deactivate his spirit vision without tapping his forehead anymore. I don't know if that is because he's now rank 8 or sequence 8 or he trained, but here you see spirit vision gone. So he can activate, deactivate. It could also be a divination thing. But I also believe in the fight against Sharon, he used his spirit vision and he didn't have to tap his forehead, which is good. You know, getting stronger. Oh, that is the whistle for Isaac, for his familiar. Hello, friend. Profis, I guess? So he wrote a letter to Isaac and Dali. Isaac answered by, using his spirit familiar, because the familiar, they go through the spirit realm and there's past, present, and future all together, meaning they are more or less able to instantly go to someone else, seemingly, or very fast. So this is how we answered, okay. The question is, how did we send the letter? Did we also use our familiar? Because it seems like Lion's familiar is more or less himself, or a spirit version of himself. The question is, while that one is on the way, is he still able to act with his own body? So is this like a clone of him? Or is it himself, his soul being in his familiar, his being in the familiar, and his own body is not really doing anything? Similar to like the Grey Fork is the question. We did not really get information about that. We know that Dali, if we assume her familiar version is her head, is her spirit head that can just visit him. If that is her familiar, does it work similarly? Because for Isaac, it seems like he has like a whole skeleton. And it does not seem like this is Isaac himself. So I do wonder, are they summoning clones that are very similar to themselves? Are they inhabiting this familiar, and in the meantime their own body are not doing anything? I do wonder, and if that is the case, why is Isaac seemingly like a summon? Lots of questions.
你描述的场景让我想到
Vampires.
了吸血鬼和异种。天然的吸血鬼在巨龙和巨人退出历史的舞台前就已经接近灭绝。天然的吸血鬼在巨龙和巨人退出历史的舞台前就已经接近灭绝。
I mean, that is really beautiful looking. Oh, I did not even see that we have hair. I assumed it was only the eyes, but no, we have like a whole hair, a whole face to look at. Oh, it's the guy. Oh. I recall there's a certain pathway with a sequence whose potion is named Vampire. Is it, huh? Is his pathway fake? So because we got told at the very beginning, if you go into a pathway, you cannot change your pathway. Now, we don't know if that is true. I also don't know what the higher rank sequences of the Sleepless pathway are. Is there one vampire? My assumption was that the Sleepless pathway was the pathway that the Ever Night Goddess Church has all the ranks for, or all the sequences, or most of them. So that was the whole point why we have so many Sleepless in our church.
途径的某个序列，魔药名称就叫吸血鬼。异种的话，有人猜测是正常的人类受到了污染或诅。
Contaminated or cursed. Which is the most likely way because we had like the blood curse going again. However, Sharon died, so the question is the blood curse working or not? We also got, I believe our beautiful boy got blood curse at some point. But it didn't end in anything.
在特定状况下变成了怪物。你的上司，也许就是一个潜藏的异种。当然，这些都是我的猜测，但无论哪种，都证明你的上司现在状况不稳，非常危险。你最好小心。危险。
Okay, just a flashback.
克莱恩，
So we have this blue glow and bloodshot eyes.
克莱恩，
So what was on the table?
克莱恩，
Oh, just a picture. Okay. So as far as we know, we assume he is a mutant. Because of a curse. Now, still, are we going to have to fight him? Are we going to need a new captain? Or what my assumption is, because I watch a lot of animes, which this is Donghua, but sure. One of the cliche things is that our main character, because he has like a very mysterious power, is going to use that power to pull back the mutant, the curse that Dan is under, and, you know, get him back. Now, this would be my cliche answer. Now, it can work any way. It could be that, you know, he could disappear and join the enemy. It could also be that we have to fight him and defeat him, which could be interesting. You can take it a lot of ways. I am assuming Klein is going to quote unquote cure him. But we will see. I'm assuming we get Dali back.
队长，
I mean, this is not Dali.
克莱恩，去豪尔斯街62号。伦纳德找到了兰尔乌斯的住所，需要你帮忙。
That seems like Leonard is our beautiful boy. That seems like very suspicious. Also, why is the Captain Dark Aura? I mean, Sleepless Nightmare Dark, sure.
需要你帮忙。
哟，来了。
You are lying. I don't know about what you are lying, but you are lying.
没睡好。怎么查到的？
你们从胡德欧根那里得到线索，怀疑兰尔乌斯与
Eugen was the library guy. Lanovis had links to Sirius. Yes. Who?
西里斯有关系。
Was Sirius the party?
西里斯和豪尔斯街区不少住客
Maybe?
来往，我挨个排查。有位老先生看了兰尔乌斯的照片，指认62号租客和他很像，
Okay.
但已经很久没回来了。我怀疑这
What is that? My assumption would be that this is another Beyonder
和他
that
很
is
像，
part of him.
但已经很久没回来了。
And again, cheating. I'm also, from all the shadows we saw, I assume it is female.
我怀疑这里
Oh, this is
和他
his.
很
Oh,
像，但已
at
经
the
很久
beginning
没
is
回来
his
了。
shadow.
我怀疑
Shadow?
这
It feels. I assume it's female. We don't know. Is it a monster? Is it a shadow creature? My friend also proposed the idea that it is similar to maybe the Grey Fog. That this guy has like a connection to some kind of bigger thing, more primordial. because the Grey Fog seems to be like a very powerful entity. Is it a monster? I don't know. Klein did say that there could be like a monster inside the Black Fog, some kind of creature. We don't know. But this shadow, what exactly is their connection? Very intriguing.
有隐藏密室。
Okay, divination time.
这栋房屋的暗格或者密室。
So, essentially, this pendulum took the place of his cane. I guess that's right. I can't read that. This is the letter we saw from Lanavis. Why is it here?
又是信。
祝贺你们，终于找到了这封信。这说明你们还不算太蠢，有资格参与我设计的这场生与死。
Okay. So Lanavis is connected to this doomsday scenario of Tingen. Something revolving the true creator. And now he's saying it's a game he designed? The whole thing? Or just he's making some other part? What?
生与死的游戏，疯狂终会付出代价，亵渎之罪不得赦免。
So we heard the scribbling again. Now, I'm bad with a lot of like interpersonal little tidbits, names, faces, voices. I'm hard of hearing anyway. I assume these are two different voices. We have Lanavis, who's like, oh, I'm doing this little game. And this, potentially, is the guy that has the quill and writing the story. Manus will have an ultimate price to pay. Blasphemy will not be forgiven. He is a little bit, this is directed to Lanavis. Under the assumption those are two different people. We will have to see.
贫穷、疾病、不断夭折的童工，极少活过30岁的工人。这座城市的每座工厂都笼罩着无数的怨念。我们的游戏将在这样的背景下开始。蠢货们，做好准备。
Again, this is so hard. Pretty sure they are different people. Different. He is, proposing this little tidbit, and the one that has the quill and writing is like, blasphemy will not be forgiven. Which seemingly could be against him, could be against the whole city, who knows. However, the Saintess in White also said about all these negative emotions in the city, that this is it is perfect for the witch recipe. So it could be that this whole thing that is happening, maybe Lanavis wants to do he wants to eradicate, he is going to tell us in a second, but probably eradicates the city because the city is more or less bad, and he wants to get rid of it. And the Saintess in White is using that to potentially fulfill her witch recipe. That is the assumption. I don't know if a witch is necessarily assassin pathway, but maybe. The bomb. Now, I assume this is not a literal bomb, it is a figuratively bomb, and I'm assuming it is the baby inside the body of his girlfriend. Because he did try to see something inside that, and it is growing stronger over time. So the baby's growing stronger, bigger, and whenever it gets burst, maybe then it is going to engulf the city in doomsday stuff. Maybe? I don't know. We do know you should not look at gods because you can die. Klein nearly got burned alive. I already forgot his name. But someone else looked at the dream of, I believe it was done, of the other dude, the spectator, and saw the true creator. Not as a spectator. He looked. Was it the spectator? No, I believe he looked at the corpse of the guys that tried to take over, that tried to kill Klein through the girls in the little party. And there he saw the true creator. And he got taken back by that.
炸弹，去寻找他吧，各位朋友。
Meaning that if the baby is like a reincarnation of the true creator, even if only a bit, and you should not look at it or you die, essentially, that him just being there would kill a lot of people.
时间紧迫，我们得马上回去告诉队长。
Okay.
如果游戏失败，轰，
Again.
整个田坑都将化为灰烬。
I don't believe it is
最喜欢给
literal
朋
one.
友们带来惊喜的兰尔乌斯。
I also find it questionable that he is calling us friends.
我从没听说过能不断变强的炸弹。
Right.
是神秘学意义上的炸弹，比如某些不断积蓄着力量的邪恶仪式。
Okay.
不断积蓄着力量的邪
What
恶
are you
仪
doing?
式。
Again.
意义上的炸弹，比如某些不断积蓄着力量的
Why?
邪恶仪式。
Here you can see the differences in shadow. More slender shoulder. Probably has different clothing, but the neck seems slender. It looks like we do have down here, it curves a little bit more instead of being, could be the shoulder. But it just looks a lot more slender. And in this scene, he is asking more or less his shadow for answers.
我同意你的猜测，兰尔乌斯描
Do you? Do you agree with Klein, or does your shadow agree with Klein?
写的怨念，或许就是炸弹不断
I
变
want
强
to
的
know
力量
what the
源
shadow
泉。
is about. I do also want to know how the shadow got explained in the novel. Because here we have this is why some parts are a lot easier to show in animation. This whole shadow thing, I assume in the novel you get like an explanation or like more detailed explanation of the scenes, the shadow changing. Now in the anime you can just, it is a millisecond, bam, changed, bam, back, and he now has an answer, and you can hide a lot of
问题
information
是
this way.
炸弹，
Okay, so first off we have, I cannot identify the runic symbols, but you did not tell me what this is. So I have to find out. It starts with a B and an L. That is the only black. This is the an H. Black Thorn. It's not our thing, no? Wasn't it the security for company that we use as a cover-up? One of our cover-ups. Black Swan Security.
炸弹在哪个地方？炸弹
Oh, what is happening
在
with
哪
you?
个地方？
What is happening? Oh. Are you crying because of
问题
Kenny?
是炸弹
Kenny?
在哪个地方？
You are. You're crying.
出什么事了？
队长呢？
炸弹？难道是在霍德欧跟新闻世界的祭台上？但祭台在哪儿？天根中心地下。
Underground at the head of Tingen. In our church? There she is. You have a demon baby inside.
你们好，
梅高欧斯小姐，
拉尔乌斯的未婚妻。她之前似乎精神出了点问题，说自己的孩子在娘胎里就会吹口哨。
I mean, are we using spirit vision to check?
梅高欧斯小姐，
Maybe?
你到这儿来有什么事吗？
I would use my spirit vision on like anyone.
不知道为什么，我忽然就想着到佐特兰街来，忽然就想着上来看一看。
她的精神问题越发恶化了。
This whole area, did we not go through like a bar and like a password and then we get in here? Is there a second entrance?
上次没来得及开灵室。
Oh, okay. So he has to still tap his forehead? It felt like some of the scenes he did not need to do this. Is it maybe a different vision that he's using there? Okay. So this feels like he's looking at a deity. Similar to like the blazing sun. That he is looking at the or part of the true creator. And potentially this could kill him. If he does it.
格斗就会死。
He still has his cane.
拉尔乌斯射的炸弹不在祭坛，而是梅高乌斯身体里的邪恶存在。
Now here's the question. What are we doing? We now have uncovered where the bomb is. What do we do? Do we kill the baby? I'm assuming we cannot do that. This is the king.
亲手铸就的蒸汽与机械时代，将成为邪恶存在降生的温床。
This is what we saw in a flashback where Lanavis was doing this ritual and where the head, supposedly the skull of the son of Isaac was used. Why, I don't know.
毒蛇被压制了。 毒蛇被压。
This is being suppressed. Oh, this is to summon Isaac's familiar. Oh, the sun charm. Are we going to use it? I assumed because we made the sun charm through the artifact, and the sun charm is supposedly or feels very powerful. My assumption was that we are not going to use or see it being used for quite some time.
香烟符咒没有被影响。
But it hasn't been affected. Okay, we are not using it right now.
梅高欧斯小姐，你有什么委托吗？
我想聊聊兰尔乌斯的事。他
Do you,
说
huh?
你们知道很多。
他是谁？
My baby.
我的
嗯，
孩子，
请问你要咖啡还是红茶？
一杯温水。
请稍等，女士。稳住他。
She's totally confused.
克莱恩，
Damn. Something about corruption? Corruption scandal? Can't read it. You're supposed to keep her stable. Hello? Hello, boy?
听说你和兰尔乌斯先生第一次见面是在舞会上。
是的，我第一次见他是在市议会的舞会上。
He is a
他
swindler.
很优秀，帅气又多金，是当晚女孩们最关注的青年企业家。当时有很多漂亮女孩期待和他跳舞，但不知道为什么，他只邀请了我。从华尔兹到库朗舞，整晚他都和我在一起。他的每一句话都让我开心，每一个眼神都让我着迷。那时候，我就知道我这一生再也离不开他了。
There's a big question here for me. How much of that is planned? Because this whole thing feels like it's planned. He's a swindler, so he's most likely not really. Maybe he's rich. Maybe, I don't know. However, whatever he's saying, whatever he's doing, it is all a facade. It feels like that all he did at that evening was all to get together with her to then be able to do this ritual. Everything planned. But the question is, how far did he plan everything?
后来他们却告诉我他是骗子，欺骗了我。其实不是的，他对我很好，常常带我去参加他与朋友的聚会，还带我去了很多奇妙的地方。那天地方与朋友的聚会。
What?
他对
He
我
was very
很
good
好，
to me.
常常
He often took me to gatherings with his friends. Some kind of symbol?
常带我去参加他与朋友的聚会，还带我去了很多奇妙的地方。
He slapped you here.
那天地方，那天
Can't identify what kind of symbol that is.
那天，他送了我一根项链，
True creator.
还说要给我一个惊喜。
死神后裔特效。
So, we're gonna see the ritual in a second. She's saying he was always good to me. He brought me to all his meetings with his friends. The question is she getting manipulated? Is her memory wrong? Because she got slapped? Was this only that day? Because she intruded on him in a very peculiar situation? Or is all the memory she has wrong? Did they... She said he took her to the meeting with his friends, right? Often took me to gatherings with his friends. My assumption is, because she did not really say anything about the slap, that the memories are wrong. So she is pregnant, and they are then, putting part of the true creator inside the baby. This is dependent on if her memory is right or wrong, manipulated, whatever. Could it be that he took her to the meetings with his friends to get her pregnant? Not necessarily with him, but anyone. Increase the chance for her pregnancy to then do the ritual and put the true creator inside the belly. Willingly or not on her part. Is that what happened? Because it feels like her memory got manipulated. But let's see. So we get the ritual with the skull of Ezek's son, supposedly. Wait. The characteristic of a descendant of death. The characteristics of a descendant of death. We know the skull, or the show deliberately showed us Ezek. He was, we fought the race. We go with Ezek to the castle. He's checking the grave of his son, and the head is missing. The skull is missing. We then see the skull, or one skull, being used in this ritual. Now, the assumption would be that is Ezek's son. Here, the characteristics of a descendant of death. Meaning, if we put it together, if this is the skull of Ezek's son, that Ezek is death. My assumption also was that rank is a sequence 0 or sequence 1 or whatever, because some people say sequence 0 is the thing somehow, but that the highest sequence is the deity itself, was my assumption for the pathways early on already. So it could be that Ezek is sequence 1. I don't know if it's like sequence 1 is like the last sequence, and then if you become the deity, maybe you upgrade and you are like the deities more or less. I don't know if that is the sequence 1 or higher. But this, whatever the case, this sentence seems to indicate that Ezek himself is the death. And I'm assuming death is the deity of the corpse collector pathway, meaning that he's most likely sequence 1. Or if the deity itself is sequence 0, I don't know. Again, I saw some comments about sequence 0. Again, if you search for stuff, just be very careful. A lot of spoilers. This is a long running series. A lot of people have theories about the show itself, so you can stumble upon spoilers quite easily. So again, if we take the skull as the skull of Ezek's son, this would mean that Ezek is death, which would mean that he potentially is the deity of the corpse collector pathway, which would make him a very good, very good to have as part of our round table, but sure.
后羿特性，利用凡人之躯，化身迎接降临的容器。无边的怨念和灰暗，是滋养生灵的乳浆云一堂。
Okay. Now here we get like these glimpses. Okay, he's there. So this, he has clothes on. Okay. I wonder if we get one frame with someone else, or it could be replaced by the true god creator. This is the slab.
你说他怀的不是莱尔乌斯的孩子？
没错，我试图开启灵视，但灵性警示我不可直视神。联想到欧根心灵世界里的祭台。
Again, here we use the word gods. I believe it's deities. I don't know.
和拉尔乌斯许诺欧根的一点神性。我怀疑梅高欧斯肚子里的神，
真是造者的降临体。
是的，所以跟踪梅高欧斯的福尔安先生才会无故失控。也许老尼尔也受到了他的催化，而且我们猜测到拉尔乌斯的信，梅高欧斯就突然上门。
So, what is the plan? You told Dan, cool, he's your captain, makes sense. You are now here. You have a rank 7 nightmare. I believe Alfonso, I forgot, Alonso, I believe he's rank 8. And we have another rank 8. And you are fighting a fucking god? How? The only one we could potentially see if conjecture or the information that Azek is death itself, if that is true, he may be the only one that could go against the true creator.
非凡巧合，
太明显，
非凡巧合，
太明显，太直接，已经完全不掩饰了。看来幕后黑手终于要亲自动手了。
可是那次之后，他就消失了。我找了很久，很多地方都找不到他。
I also wonder what happened. I don't know. So we have the confirmation part of the true creator, or maybe the whole true creator is inside the child's body. Now, when is the bomb going off? When the child is going to be burst, or is it going to be like a face hugger? It's going to burst outside her body, and then if it's born, it's game over. You can't look at her and at the baby because it's the true creator, and you looking at the deity is going to potentially just kill you, make you crazy. It's similar to like the what was it, like Zulu and the mythos around there, where it's like, hey, you can't look at them. If you interact with these deities, you are going to die. The best that can happen is that you go mad.
不要太担心了，梅高欧斯小姐。
It is interesting that she's the only one. She has no idea what is going on. She's just there. Don't.
他的精神状态已经撑不了多久了。弗莱和路遥呢？
还没有回来。
通知所有非战斗人员撤离，让警察部门尽快疏散民众。
啊，关于兰尔乌斯先生的行踪，我们确实掌握了一些信息。
队长下令，紧急情况，文职全部撤离， 这里很危险，快走。
No, 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 no praying, running, walk. Come on. Also interesting, all non-combat members out. And he's running out. Because he's not really a combat-focused class. Sequence, pathway. One of them is good. So she's praying. Now... how the scene is presented before I press play. She's praying, he's running. He's going to hear her prayer. He's going to answer her prayer. That is how it feels. Or she's just going to be impaled in the next second. But I'm assuming she's going to pray, he's going to hear her prayer, he's going to answer her prayer. He may join the round table. It would not surprise me. The Sun Boy had no pathway, as far as we know. So she could join. This is how it feels. Sequence for mythical creature. Sequence, it's a body for the true creator. At the very least, that's a sequence for a mythical creature. Because above the true creator, there's like the sequence 3, the truest true creator. What do you mean? Also, a sequence 4 mythical creature, is it like... so sequence 4 are already really high up there? Even in your pathway? If I could read Morse code, I would. But I'm unable to identify Morse code. I mean, we need like everything. It feels like, okay, it feels like that Klein is trying to go and get an artifact. Because he is running. Yeah. Oh. Oh, okay.
赶紧通知阿兹克先生。阿兹克先生，让我命运不协调，取走您孩子头骨的幕后黑手。
Why do you know that? Why do you know Shai's remains? And this is an important information. I feel like Azek is going to instantly show up here. And again, if it's a true creator or body of that, and Azek is Death himself, that could be a fucking huge fight.
可能要出现了，射击真实造物者，情况很危急，情况很危急。
I am very interested. So this seems to be the artifact chamber. Now we need like a form bureaucracy to get like an artifact. Do we have anything that could fight the body of the true creator, even if it's like an infantile version? I don't know. Oh no. Oh no. Something is happening to him. Could it be the curse flaring up again? Could it be that maybe there's like a defensive mechanism in here? Because if he's going to be dangerous now, Lion is not going to be able to fight him off.
你拿2件攻击性强的封印物。
我申请使用30782。
Mutated Sun Sacred Emblem. Wasn't this the one for race? This is not a race.
变异的太阳圣辉。
他昨天已被贝克兰德借走。
这么久。
目前停更只有3件2级封印物，其中2件对高序列强者效果为 置。
Okay.
2105血管小头。
Blood vessel sieve. I feel like it should be 2 minus 0, 105.
对高血的强者十次有效。
They probably omitted
能窃取一定
0.
范围内某个目
It can steal one
标的
ability.
一项能力，但是几率较小。
那就血管小偷吧。
So the artifact can steal an ability, and then the artifact can use it, or it's the ability is sealed for a period of time, or is Klein going to get the ability? What do you mean steal? Steal means I take something that you have and take it for myself. So I'm able to use it. Is Klein going to get a big ability here?
凡是触碰到2105的人，都会被偷走生命。 切记，序列法的极限是
Half an
半
hour.
小时。
我会将注意事项都告诉伦纳德。
Leonard. I don't know why I assumed Alonso. I don't know. I'm not going to remember his name. If we get the name of his shadow and is female, that one I'm going to remember.
同学，该展现你的秘密了。
So he's like, oh, show us your secret. Come on,
那
come on,
你
show
说
me.
哪件？
There's a lot of stuff that we already got a lot of information, Isaac and stuff. We got some confirmation of stuff, which is also nice. But if we get to see the shadow, ooh, the shadow, I'm so intrigued by it.
我另有打算。
那你使用哪件？
Oh. Oh, okay. So he's taking the sieving blood vessel and giving it to Alonso. What was his name? Leonard? Da Vinci?
该展现你的秘密了。事项都告诉了。
Yeah, Leonard. So he's giving him the vessel. Well, because he has the sun, blazing sun charm. Flaring sun charm. Or emblem, whatever. And Sun is going to use the other artifact. What is the other artifact? What are you doing? Why are you interfering? Saint Selena. Who? Who's that? Don't. Now this. I don't know. Because one of the things is that a higher beyonder in your pathway can interfere with you. He can put murmurs inside you, can make contact with you and coax you into become a fallen beyonder. Is this maybe the one? Saint Selena? What does it mean? Is it maybe the Saintess of White? Along those lines? The Demoness, maybe? Because he got the blood curse from the Demoness. If we assume that is what is going on here. Is it maybe the other artifact? It is the other artifact. Why? So it was also the Quill again. So whoever has control of the Quill needs these ashes? Or is he controlling because the ashes are more impactful?
需要升堂特批。
我以田根职业者小队队长的名义启动战时紧急条款，申请圣塞琳娜骨灰。
Saint Selena's ashes. What does that mean? Also, there are multiple guys in here? Ah. Saint Selena's ashes. The ashes of a high secret beyonder. The core seal of the Tingen Shannis Gate. How about we don't give this one out? If this one, story-wise, if this one goes lost, goes into the bad hands, then this whole Shannis Gate is weaker, or the seal is weaker, so all the artifacts can go. Additionally, this one, because it's the core seal, was not in a room. This one seemingly is always active in some way, shape, or fashion.
封印核心被取走，查尼斯门靠你们了。
Who are you?
愿女神庇佑你们。
This whole thing is going to be... Shit is going to hit the fan so hard. I'm assuming Azig is going to appear, going to fight the true creator, and seemingly the one that is in control of the feather is going to... He has a different plan. This feels like a whole different plan. I'm assuming that the ash is going to be helpful, sure, but they're going to disappear somehow. Maybe Dunn is going to run away with them, leaving this gate with a weaker seal, because this is the core seal. I'm assuming there are different smaller seals additionally, and meaning that some of the artifacts could then escape. How about you run? Those tickets. Oh, and you see 3 tickets. She just wanted to go to this little show with her brothers. Okay.
升堂回电，尽量拖延，强
As long as possible.
元素到。
那些巧合呢？
没有回应。现在最需要的就是时间，希望每个欧斯肚子里的降临体还能等待。
Additionally, what is with Dali? This could be that Dali informs the cathedral. Cathedral is going to also take care of Dunn.
豪尔斯基还有他另外的住所吗？他从来没有告诉过我。
Come on.
不要犯傻，快走，离开。
Wait.
快走，离开。
The shadow's talking. The shadow talking? Shadow's male? At least I'm not going to remember the shadow's name.
藏着什么？
兰尔，
That is not, you know, if someone is asking you what you're hiding, you should not look in that direction.
兰尔乌斯先生，其实是遇到了一些困难，才不得不离开廷根的。等解决了，他就会回来找你，还有你们的孩子的。
真的吗？一定是这样的。他很喜欢这个孩子的，为了孩子，他一定会回来。
Yeah, he does like the child, not you, but the child.
莫雷迪先生也说过，只要有孩子，
Mr. Moretti. Line?
就能找到莱尔乌斯。
克莱恩·莫雷蒂，
是的，优秀的占卜家先生，好像有人告诉过我，我只要来这里，你们
Seems like
就可以帮我更快
the baby's pulling in spiritual power?
地生下孩子。
谁？ 谁告诉你的？
就有个声音，
Oh
有个
no.
声音说，索特兰杰去见朋友。有个声
Is the
音
baby
说，
growing?
索特兰
It is like alien, like a face hugger. It is blowing up with spiritual power. Now the question is why? Because all the Beyonders are here, or because we removed the core seal, he's now able to suck up the spiritual power of the artifact? Or maybe this whole area has a lot of spiritual power?
邪恶降临体暂时还能稳住，我先上去，你守在这里。
队长，
差点忘了，戴笠给你的回信，在我这里。他让我自己跟你解释。他让我自
She told me to explain it myself. What? You read the letter.
己跟你解释。
Huh? So he knows that you know something is going on. And he's going to tell you. Again, the pipe. He's sniffing the pipe. Why?
在神秘领域存在一个定律：非凡特性不会毁灭，也不会减少。
By the way, we have like a deity about to be born, you know, destroying the whole city, but sure, let's have a little discussion. I mean, not that I dislike getting more information.
只是从一个承载物转移到另一个承载物。我很少。
Oh, the characteristic of a Beyond are never destroyed or reduced,
只是
merely pass from one carrier to the next.
是从一个承载物转移到另一个承载物。我和戴笠发现这点时，圣堂让我们历史保密，给了2个选择：一是队友死后历史保密。
Is this the first time we've seen him smoke the pipe? Again, I'm assuming that they are not allowed to show someone smoking, because this is how they got around that.
一是队友死后，非凡特性全数上交圣堂；二是同途径稀释入体。我不知道他们的真实意愿，同时。 这会大幅影响魔药效。
I'm confused. I'm so confused. I'm so confused at the moment. In mysticism, there's a law. The characteristic of a Beyond are never destroyed or reduced. Oh. Oh no. I get it. I was like, it is merely passed down. I was like, what do you mean? Is there only one rank, sequence rank 9 at the same time? What he means, this is my assumption. What he means is, we got to find out how artifacts are made. One of them, if they are not controllable, you seal them and, you know, you use them whenever needed. If they are controllable, you don't want to know what happens. So, if a Beyonder dies, his Beyonder abilities cannot be removed. They cannot be destroyed. They cannot be reduced. If a Beyonder dies, a part of his body, of his dead corpse, is going to have the Beyonder ability. That is what he's saying here. So, they are merely passed from one carrier to the next. Meaning, if you don't have to seal the artifact of a Beyonder that has the power of the Beyonder, someone else on the same pathway is going to consume the part of the Beyonder to increase their power, essentially. So they found that out, he and Dali did. The Holy Cathedral, naturally, because they try to keep it secret. This one, understandable. 2 choices. So, they know the truth, which he now told Klein, which you are not supposed to do. Are you not under oath? Similar to what we did to the sword? One was to hand over all of the characteristics to the Holy Cathedral. I'm assuming what he is meaning, if Beyonder dies, you take the part that has the Beyonder ability and take it to the Holy Cathedral?
非凡特性全数上交圣堂。
Or you consume it your way.
稀释入体。
So you yourself consume the characteristic, in this case the heart. And this is going to increase your power, he said something along those lines, that it helps digestion. Potentially, because they don't want to give it to the Holy Cathedral to then get consumed by someone else, they want to more or less, because they are like a big group, a family in some cases, they ingest the characteristics of their friends to then, inherit their will. More or less.
我不知道他们的真实意愿，同时，这会大幅影响魔药消化。但我还是做了这样的选择，和他们永远在一起。
That is why he ate the heart. So it was more or less a ritual, quote unquote, that he did. Interesting. We got some confirmation. Okay. What is about the blue light effect? Also, we have the scribbling. Now the scribbling and the quill changing the story never really interacts with the people. However, it nudges them in the direction. Unwillingly, maybe. Again, I'm assuming you can't show them smoking. So it was part of, a normal thing they did. Interesting. Meaning Dali also is in the same shoes, knows the secret, has two choices. Give these characteristics over to the cathedral or take them herself. What she did, we don't know. However, we do know she does like dead bodies because of her corpse collector thing. Also, corpse collector, it would make sense that she maybe ingests those characteristics. It is interesting because we did get told that Beyonder abilities, artifacts are more or less Beyonder abilities in some kind of form or fashion after they die, mostly because fallen. So interesting that they more or less ingest them. Okay, she's going crazy. We also don't know if it's always the heart, if it's different parts of the body. Do you always have to eat it or some other choice? However, I'm fine with the explanation. Hey, he is just ingesting them to more or less keep their wills alive, even though he doesn't know what they really wanted. However, he just wants to be together with them and keep them alive. The shadow is still talking to him. And the shadow seems to be a lot older.
冷静，梅高斯小姐，想想你们的孩子，他的诞生应该接受父亲与母亲共同的祝福。再过几天，兰尔乌斯就回来了，只要再等几天。
再等几天吗？不是说孩子出生了，爸爸就会回来吗？
The quill. Just writing the story. I'm still very interested. It's close to the end of the episode. I'm very interested to know or get to know what really the Quill. Is the Quill deciding the story? Is the guy deciding the story and writing? Is he being led by someone to write the story? He's interfering with the world. Is he willingly doing that? Does he have a plan? What is behind that? I'm assuming that is one of the big mysteries that we get to know a lot later on. But intriguing. Again, that, the shadow, we now have an idea why our guy more or less cannibalized the heart. Very interesting. Okay. And we get to see a deity.
走！这邪恶降临体受不了圣骨会刺激，快降生
！The evil being can't stand the stimulus from the saint's ashes. He's about to descend. Now this is also one of the things. Dunn, from all we know, Dunn is not bad. He's still on our side. He's still a good guy. He did that because it is one of the two things he can do to the part that has the beyond ability or characteristics. Now the question is, he still got coaxed into taking the ashes, the saint's ashes. The question is, okay, here is the thing. We're going to have this fight, this big epic showdown next episode, sadly. If the saint's ashes are going back into the Shanna's gate, that would mean that the guy that is using the quill is somewhat on our side, or his goal is, in this case, part of achieving his goal was to help us. If it is not going back into the Shanna's gate and disappear or get destroyed, then we can assume that part of his goal, at least, is to hinder us. Also, how are we going to give Leonard the blood vein vessel, living blood vessel? Okay. End of episode. Okay, I'm very interested. So I'm not really the big into fights and stuff. It's fine. I can enjoy them. However, there's not much for me to really go over in fights. Now, the child is not born, but it seems to take over the body. The body is crumbling under the influence. So we have the ashes, the saint's ashes that are going to help. Again, as I said, we will see if the saint's ashes are going back into the Shanna's gate and stay the core seal, then the quill or the author, the quill user is helping us more potentially to further his own goal, not because he likes us. If the ashes are going to disappear, he's effectively hindering us, probably still to further his own goal. Done, seemingly good. Yay. But seemingly good, what we saw was part of an agreement with the church. Okay. But seemingly he's good, and we now have an idea what happens with the quote-unquote artifact that we don't need to seal. Seemingly they go back to the church, and the church is then giving them to people that know the secret and maybe higher sequence beyond us, and they get to munch on some delicious hearts, I guess. And what else? Seemingly the shadow is male. I was hoping for a female. He seems to be older, and helping our guy Leonard. We also have found out that Ezek presumably is Death himself, which would explain why he's you know, more or less immortal, living forever, yada yada yada. So he is most likely sequence 1. I don't know who could be above Death himself, but you never know in shows like these. We have the big showdown between the true creator, or a reincarnation of the true creator, and we will see. I'm assuming Yazik is going to appear. Dali does not seem to appear. Dali also knows the secret. Now, then told Klein, whenever Klein told everyone about how the digestion works, they had like a vow to the sword, to the Evernight goddess, whatever. They more or less swear to secrecy. Did he not do the same for this secret? Is he going to be punished for that? Is there going to be something? A lot of interesting stuff definitely being presented. I probably missed some stuff. Next episode, we are going to have a big fight again. If the Queen's ashes go back, we can presume that the quill... This would be, in my opinion, the best way. The ashes are going to be used here, the Saints' ashes. They go back. And this would establish, hey, the quill holder has their own goal and potentially is going to help us if it is furthering his own goal. If the ashes are going to disappear, then he is actively against us, potentially still for his own goal, furthering his own goal. The Saintess of White did not appear. She was like, hey, this whole sadness, negative emotions is prime for the witch recipe. So we will see if we get some information about that. Lanavis seems to be going against the quill holder, presumably. A lot of interesting stuff. A lot of interesting stuff. We will get to see some fight next episode. We may see the shadow fight. We may see the flaring, blazing sun talisman emblem thingy that Klein made maybe go into action. We may see the sieving blood veins being used, the ashes. I am assuming still that Azek is going to appear. He's going to wreck whatever this is, because he's death himself, presumably. Very interesting. I am very intrigued. Again, this show has a lot of stuff going on. We saw some secrets about the church, some more secrets. Additionally to the whole, acting and digestion of potions. We have this whole thing going on. Lavinus seemingly is not here. I'm assuming he's already gone. So it seems like he has some more plans going. We have more about the quill holder, who seems to be part of the story somewhat. Most likely one of the big mysteries. We still have so much we could explore about all the three at this point. Members of the Round Table. I'm very interested in Miss Justice, Mr. Hanged Man, and especially our newest addition, the Sun Boy, because he was in a fight. He did not have a pathway, at least we did not get told. All of that. Additionally, why did we show the secretary pray? Who did she pray to? What exactly is going on there? Definitely a really, really good show. Very interested to see. Again, fights are nice, and the show does a fantastic job showing the fights. Very well animated, good sound design, very interesting fights. I don't want to talk down the fights, but I'm here for the mystery. There's a lot of stuff still going on. Is sun maybe still getting controlled. The blue hue he gets sometimes, is that maybe some kind of control? It just because he knows the secret and he's you know, ingesting these parts of the Beyonder does not mean he's not being a mutant potentially. So we will see. Lots of good stuff going on. Sadly, only one more episode.